Hello and welcome. Today we're taking a look at the new Addiction Tokyo holiday collection. And I have to say that Addiction Tokyo knows how to do holiday. It's a massive collection. And I'd like to say thank you so much to Addiction Tokyo because they did send me all of these items in PR. So we actually have part 1 and part 2. Now, these are part of the part 1. We'll go through everything in all of the sections. And there's also another set for part 1 that was not available here in the US. So I'll put a picture of that up here and you can see that. So I did talk to someone at Addiction Tokyo and I got some recommendations of shades that would work to kind of duplicate that particular look, those set. So if you're interested, I'll have swatches of those as well. And that's what I'm wearing for the cheek products right now. So let's go ahead and get started with swatches. Let's start off with part 1. Addiction Tokyo's first part of the holiday collection is called Fantasy Freefall. So there were 2 particular sets, color stories, that go in this collection, but the first one was not available in the US. So let's go through the suggested shades for that first, and then we'll look at the second set, the one that was available here in the US, which is the warmer tone ones. The first one here, we do have some recommendations for the blush trio. So it's going to be like this, but with these pinker tones. The recommended blush is this one, which is 009M Rose Wish. And this is one of my favorite blushes from Addiction. I use this one all the time. So you can see it's just a really soft, nude rose shade. It's a little cool, but not really. And it's very buildable, but you know, if you have light or fair skin, you know, it's just one of those great, you know, natural everyday blushes. And then for the highlighter section, we have Beyond Light, which is one of the nuancers. This is 001. And this is another highlighter shade that I really like. So we've got this here, which is going to be just like a, you know, it's an ivory highlighter, and I think it's got a beautiful shimmer. And then on top of that, we have Aurora Veil, which is one of my all-time favorites. This is 005N, and you can see it's a lavender with a blue shift. So these are the recommended substitutions for the blush trio. Now the eyeshadow duo, we have 2 shades here as well. And I did already have one of them, but I didn't have Love Affair. So Addiction Tokyo was kind enough to send this with the holiday collection. So this is Love Affair. This is 006P, and the P stands for Pearl, which is my personal favorite eyeshadow formula from them. It's silky, it's smooth, there's no grittiness, it's creamy. I've never developed hard pan in any of them. I mean, it's just beautiful. And you can see that this is kind of a nude rose shade with a little bit more brown in it. And then the other shade is Midnight Drive, which is number 16P. Again, a pearl finish. And this is a really beautiful green. So these 2 are the suggested substitutions for the eyeshadow duo. And then for the glow lip tint, there is a limited edition shade, number 101, but the recommended substitution is number 1, Rosy. This is Rosy Water. And you can see this one looks clear. I'll put this one here on my hand. But it actually does give you a soft light pink. It has a pH indicator in there. So you'll get like kind of a soft light pink look on your lips. So these are the substitutions for part 1. But part 2 we did get, and I have to say it is stunning. So let's take a look at this set. So by the way, this is sold as a set, and these items here are going to be sold as a set. So this is number 102, Daydream Moment. So we have this matte, kind of a pumpkin orange kind of blush shade here. Then we have our 2 highlighter shades. This is going to be a soft pale gold. And then this one here is going to be more white. And you can see there's a little bit of warmth in that. It's not pure white. There's a little bit of peachiness to it. So that would be the Blush Trio 102 Daydream Moment. Our eyeshadow duo is 102 Little Voyager. And I love this. I think it is stunning. So we have this beautiful, rich, coppery shade here. It's kind of a coppery reddish brown. And then we have a true gold. You can kind of mix them together and get something a little bit softer. So I think it's a really beautiful color. The limited edition lip glow is shade number 102, Cup of Joy. Let's go ahead and put this one up here. And this has shimmer in it. You can see it is a soft brown. It's a warmer brown. And we do have a little bit of shimmer in here. And it's not gritty or anything. You can see it better here in the tube. It's a really beautiful shade. Now, as you're looking at these swatches, even though you can see glitter in the tube, there is some shimmer. You don't really see it on the lips or in the swatch. It kind of melts in there and just adds a little extra light reflection, but it's so finely milled, you don't see any like glitter particles. So I think it's really beautiful. Let's take a look at the demos and details for this set. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off with today's blush look. So you can see the Rose Wish and the Beyond Light and Aurora Veil highlighters. So you can see what those look like. They are some of my most used products from Addiction Tokyo. So whether you're trying to duplicate the part one or you just like the colors, I think these are definitely worth adding to your list. And I think they're stunning. For reference, if you are purchasing these, we have 2.8 grams of product. Everything in this video, all of the Addiction Tokyo items are made in Japan. So just something to note there. If you're purchasing the single eyeshadows, we have 1 gram of product in each of those. Now, as for our Fantasy Freefall set, our blush trio, just like the full-size blushes, we have 2.8 grams of product. And again, our eyeshadow duos are also going to be 1 gram of product. The glow tints have 1.6 grams of product. And again, everything is made in Japan. Now this set retails for $56 US. It is available on the Addiction Tokyo website, and this is described as a warm tone kit that exudes a sense of fantasy with dazzling depth and light. If you're looking for a bright look full of vitality, look no further. And again, this comes as a bundle with these 3 items, and I think is stunning. The formulas are so silky and smooth. There's no grittiness, no texture. I don't experience any creasing with these throughout the day. You know, I just think they are fantastic. They are some of my favorite, and they are just so incredibly smooth and silky. So I love them, and I would definitely highly recommend them. I think this is a really beautiful, warm color story. We have beautiful fall shades here that are perfect for fall. They're also perfect for holiday. You know, we've got those golden hues in there. Personally, I love the brown shade, this brown copper shade in the eyeshadow duo. I think that is really beautiful. And I love how the cheek trio actually has kind of a cooler peachy tone white in there that helps cool that off a little bit. So when you're working with that, it can be a little bit harder to get into each of those individual pans for the eyeshadow, or not for the eyeshadow, for the highlighter. It can definitely be done, but I typically do mix them all together just for ease of use. But I think, you know, overall, it's a fantastic collection. Now, also part of the Fantasy Freefall collection, we have 2 sets of lip mini, like 2 trios of lip minis. And we actually did get the part 1, the pink color story for these, as well as the warmer ones. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. All right, so we have 2 sets of mini lip trios as part of the part 1 of the collection. This is the first one. So this trio is number 101, Cure for Love. And in each of the trios, this is the second one, you can see we have a shimmery gloss, we have like a satin gloss, and we have a matte liquid lipstick. So I'm going from lightest to deepest. So this is going to be number 106, Ice Pink. This is the lip oil. And you can see that we have a nice, soft, sparkly pink here. Very pretty light shade. This is great as a topper or even straight up on its own. And then 107 Berry Fizz. This, I love this shade. This is probably my favorite out of the 3 here, probably out of all 6. So you can see this is going to be a nice roseberry kind of shade. And we've got some plum in there. You know, it's beautiful. So I think that's a nice cool tone berry. And then the matte lip liquid mini is number 120, Pixie Pink. And I have this on my lips right now, but I have it topped with a gloss from the 102 set. So this set is 101 Cure for Love. So you can see the liquid matte lipstick is going to be a neutral rosy pink that leans warm. We have a little bit of warmth in this shade. So that is set 101, Cure for Love. This is 102, Floating Free. So we have shade 108, which is Old Moon, and this is going to be a beautiful golden gloss. Again, you could use this as a topper or on its own. You get a nice shimmery lip here. And you can see that the actual shade of gold is going to be more of an antique gold. Now, as I mentioned, I have the Pixie Pink liquid matte on, and then I topped it with this gloss. This is 107 Dutch Cocoa, much lighter than what it appears in the bottle. I love this shade. This is a cool tone brown with a touch of plum. It's really pretty. And I like how each of the trios, although this is going to be our warmer trio, and the other one's our cooler trio, there's a warmer shade in each one. So this one here is 121 Velvet Apricot in the liquid mattes. You can see this is going to be a warmer shade. And this is going to be more of a deep apricot. So these are the liquid minis. Let's take a look at the lip swatches. Each of the lip trios retails for $38 US, and the matte lip liquid mini has 3 milliliters of product, while the lip oil minis, both of the glitter and the satin, are 3.2 milliliters. So we have 3 products there. It's a great way to try out some of their different formulas and see what you like best, but I personally really like them. My favorite though is going to be the Cure for Love 101, because I do tend to prefer cooler tones with my skin tone. So this is described as an innocent pink lip trio featuring a gentle matte, a deep glossy formula, and a pure pearl finish. The Iced Pink is described as a sheer frosty pink lip oil with silver and blue pearls for added dimension. 105 Berry Fizz is a berry pink lip oil that brings maximum shine and zero stickiness to your lips. And 120 Pixie Pink in the matte lip liquid mini is a smoky pink matte liquid lip with a hint of eye-catching blue. Now, as for the second trio, Floating Free, number 102, this is a warm tone lip trio that creates a fashionable fall look for your lips. And these shades are described. We've got 108 Old Moon as a sheer gold lip oil with orange pearls that sparkle in the light. We have 107 Dutch Cocoa, a translucent brown lip oil with rich depth. And the liquid matte is 121 Velvet Apricot, an apricot orange matte liquid lip with subtle coral notes. And I think all of those descriptions are accurate. I think overall, these are just such a great way, as I mentioned, to try out the formulas. And let's face it, I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, it's hard to use up full-size lip products very often. And I love having the variety. So personally, I love getting mini sizes and having that versatility. I love mixing and matching these. I think these are fantastic formulas and great shades. So I personally think the lip trios are a great buy. And they work really well with the Through the Glass collection, which is the holiday part 2 from Addiction Tokyo. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. But first, one more time, here's a look at the trios. We have 101, Cure for Love, and 102, Floating Free. I think part 1 of the holiday collection played more with your cool versus warmer tones, your pinks versus your oranges. Through the Glass is going to be a bit more of a smokier vibe, and instead we're looking more at light and depth of color, in my opinion. So we're looking more at tones. So these are the palettes, and you can see that they are going to have different colors. These are actually translucent. You can kind of see here, you can see through. So we do have a translucent plastic, which I think is so great considering this collection is called Through the Glass. So this is our first palette, and we do get 2 utensils with the palettes. So you get a double-ended brush more of a crease style on one side and an angled fluffy end. And then you have a dual-ended foam tip applicator as well. So this one here is 101 Tinted Glass, and this is going to be our lighter palette, our lighter color story. Shadows are incredibly silky. They are just as good as the singles that you can buy individually. Super creamy and silky. We have 4 shades here that are all going to be relatively light. We have a soft golden hue here, so a golden yellow. And then we have a soft peach. This is a soft pink and it leans a little warm. So actually these 3 are going to be fairly warm. And then they've added this soft dusty purple as a cooler tone in here. And I love mixing these together, you know, pairing either the pink and the purple, or I personally really like the purple with the peach. You know, I think this is a really beautiful palette. Now in our olive green packaging here, this is 102 Antique Glass. And this is going to have deeper, kind of smokier shades here. So we have kind of a dusty antique rose, followed by a nice olive, which matches the plastic packaging here. Then we have this shade here, which is more of it's a coppery orange with some brown in it. So it's definitely not as bright as a true copper. It's kind of like a dusty copper. And then this one here is going to be a cool tone brown. You can see that there is some gray in here. So this is kind of our deeper, smokier palette. Now, both of these palettes are also accompanied by this, which is an eye gloss. You can actually wear this on your lips. It is lip safe. Or you can use this to kind of impact the shadows as well. So I'll put this here on my hand. You can see it's just a clear gloss. It feels very smooth. It's not sticky. We'll talk about this as we're going through the demos and details. So let's take a look. But first, I want to show you the last piece of this collection. And this is a mascara. And you can see packaging here is also going to be translucent. This is the Sparkle Mascara in number 1, Spark Romance. And let me put this next to the eye gloss. But you can see it is a beautiful golden champagne shade. And I'll show you the demo for this as we're going through the eye swatches. But this eye here, my right eye, has the mascara straight on bare lashes, whereas on my left eye, I added some of the Givenchy L'Interdit mascara as a base and then added this. And I would definitely recommend having a base because if you want more glitter. So you can see the side definitely has a bit more noticeable glitter. So let's take a look at the demos and details. And just a little bit of information about this collection. According to Addiction, it says, a chilled out night spent chatting with close friends. You pick up an antique glass and find yourself captivated. It has a deep, translucent color that is one of a kind. The soft lights of candles mix through the glass, swaying mystically as they change shape. The lively conversation, the relaxed atmosphere, a fleeting glimmer that peeks through the ambiguity. Through the Glass is a collection that captures the moment you wander into this mellow world. Think of all the untold stories embodied in that glass over time. It's time to add your own stories to the mix. And I just wanted to share that because I found that so inspiring. I love how they kind of set the stage and you can really see the story in this particular collection. Now, on the Addiction website, not the Addiction US website, the actual Japanese Addiction website, there are some additional items in this collection. I don't know that we'll be getting those here in the US. They were not included in my package, but they also have some liquid eyeshadows, the Ultra Sparkle, as well as a cream cheek tint called Through the Glass, which is one of those black tints that I think it turns like a little berry on there. In addition, there's also some additional lip products. So there's a lip serum tint and lip oil tint. So I don't think we'll be getting those here in the US, but I did want to share them. So as you're looking at the swatches and so forth, I want to start off with the eye gloss. And as I mentioned, you can use this on the lips. So when we do lip swatches, I'll show you that on the lips, but it's really just kind of a clear balm. It's very smooth and silky. Feels like, I wouldn't even say it feels like a chapstick. It just feels kind of smooth. And it says, in just one coat, this eye gloss provides a clear glass-like shine. The wet look elevates your makeup with a playful, stylish touch. Use on lids, cheeks, or eyes. So there are 6.5 grams of product. And again, just like everything else, it is going to be made in Japan. So I wanted to bring this up first because as you're looking at the demos for the first palette, I did go ahead and add the 101 Dewy Glass on top so you could kind of see what it looks like. You can see it's going to enhance the shine if you add that on top. But if you then go ahead and put on, you know, some powder, tap some powder on top of that, if you're not using a ton of gloss, and you just have a light layer of gloss and you add your powder on, you're really going to impact your color like you would if you were to use the shadows wet. And it stays put fairly well like that. You might get some creasing. It really kind of depends on how much gloss you use. But if I go in with a lighter layer of gloss, creasing is not really an issue. However, if I use the gloss on top of the eyeshadow, and, you know, even with just a little bit, I do end up getting creasing, you know, in the crease area. So just something to know. Eyeglosses, you know, some people can rock them really well. I'm not one of those people, so they don't work super well for me. I will most likely use this more on the lips than on the eyes, but I like being able to add the powder on top of it. And you can see, you know, that works pretty well, provided you're using the right ratios. Now, as for the eyeshadow palettes, I have to say I really love both of these palettes. I think they are gorgeous. And they're described as the pale light and the deep afterglow. So it's kind of a series of contrasts here. So according to Addiction, it says, capture the ever-changing charm of an antique glass. We have skincare-inspired eyeshadow palettes featuring 4 dreamy pearl-based shades each. They create nuanced layers of color and light that make it easy to achieve an expressive gaze. With a sophisticated texture that both smoothly melts into the skin and provides skincare-like moisturizing for the eye area, they allow you to freely craft a myriad of beautiful looks. So if you're not familiar with the Addiction shadows, they use something that they call velvet creamy oil to give it that velvety soft texture. It's very, very smooth, and that's thanks to what they call their skin melt technology, where it really feels like it's melting into your skin because they have powder coated with oils. So if you've ever tried like the SUQQU melting powder blushes that were discontinued, it's that same formula, but this is even softer in the pan, and yeah, that's kind of what they feel like. And another great quality of these is they are fragrance free. So I think that is really helpful. Overall, I have to say, I really love both of the palettes. I think they are beautiful. We have kind of your deeper smoky palette and your lighter, I wouldn't say brighter, but your lighter, more muted palette. And I think that the two pair really well together. So actually for today's look, I am pairing, you know, some shades from each of the palettes. And I really love being able to mix some of those lighter shades with the deeper shades here. But these are such buildable shades that you can definitely kind of shear out certain ones and build them up as well. So I think these palettes are great year round. And I just love the story that has sort of inspired this collection. It just makes me think of like warm, cozy nights at home. I love it. Now, I do want to note that when you purchase Addiction eyeshadows individually, they do sell palettes. You can create your own palette as well. And like a lot of other Japanese makeup brands, they kind of do that by, you know, you kind of glue in the pans into the palette, just like you do with like Surratt and so forth. But those are removable. Okay, so you can do that. These palettes that are the limited edition holiday palettes, these are not technically removable. You don't have the pinholes in the back to pop these out, but you can design your own palettes on the Addiction Tokyo website and just purchase things individually. These shades, however, are going to be limited edition. So as you're going through these demos, you can really see how smoothly these shadows go on. After all of the eye swatches I've been doing with these numerous holiday releases and so forth, and then just the myriad of shadows we've had here, I have to say this formula really does feel comfortable on my eyes. I don't have irritation. It doesn't bother me when I remove them. I'm not getting any grittiness or scraping from any glitter or anything. They are just so comfortable. So I personally love their formulas and I would highly recommend them. Whether you're interested in this collection or not, I definitely encourage you to try their formulas if you have the opportunity. Now you can see in today's look, we're also testing out the mascara. And as I mentioned, on the right eye, I'm going directly on bare lashes. You're not really going to see much shimmer there. It's very subtle. However, if you go in with a base of another mascara first, and then you add this on top, you can build up that glitter. You can definitely see a bit more. It's really more evident when you're like in a lighter, brighter setting and you've got the light glinting off of the glitter particles there. And the particles of this is more of like a metallic liquid. It's not really per se like glitter pieces. So yes, there is some glitter in there, but it's not like a lot of other glitter mascaras we've seen where you have kind of that clear base and chunks of glitter in it. This is really more of a metallic liquid. Think of a metallic liquid eyeliner, and then you have some glitter mixed into that, and then you're just using the spoolie to put it on. So I do think it's a little bit easier to get the look with these. And according to Addiction, it says, with champagne gold that hides a prismatic radiance, flaunt a sparkle every time you blink. This top coat mascara adorns your eyelashes with a dazzling shimmer. A complex blend of colored pearl creates a glamorous look that has striking depth. Now, I've tried several different brands of glitter mascaras over the years, and I have to say Addiction Tokyo's are my favorite. So this one here, the one they came out with, I can't even remember, the last one they came out with, you know, those are ones that you can actually see an effect with them. You can still use them more subtly or build them up. But I think if you're interested in some sort of sparkly mascara, which I think is great for holiday looks or just for fun, you know, I think theirs are definitely worth checking out. So I hope that was helpful. Let's take a look at the swatches one more time. So again, this is going to be 101, which is tinted glass. And then we have 102, antique glass. So overall, I think the colors are really beautiful. And then you can't really classify it as a warm palette and a cool palette because we have shades mixed in of each. And I think the two pair so beautifully together. Personally, I love the purple and the olive green mixed together from the two palettes. In addition, we have our sparkle mascara, and you can see from the swatch, you know, that it really is just more of a metallic liquid here. And then here is our eye gloss. So personally, I really love everything from the Addiction Tokyo Holiday Collection. Now, my top favorites from this collection would be, my number one favorite would be these two eyeshadow palettes. If I had to narrow it down, I would pick Antique Glass because I'm really into olive greens, followed by the Fantasy Freefall, the trio packaging, and then the Mini Lip Trio in 101, Cure for Love. So those would be my top three picks, but honestly, I love everything in here. The only item I probably won't use too much is the eye gloss, but everything else here, you know, I think they are just fantastic. And if you do like eye glosses, I think this is a nice one. So thank you so much to Addiction Tokyo for sending these to me. I absolutely love the collection. I hope these swatches were helpful as you shop. The Through the Glass collection is due to launch on October 28th on the US website. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you very soon. So have a wonderful day.